It's media day for the basketball team.
The Red River rivalry game as Texas takes on Oklahoma.
And CU scores a touchdown. Here's Tyler Hansen to Ryer Gear.
Tyler Hansen, and you're watching CU Sportsman.
Welcome to CU Sports Mag. Sitting alongside Jenna Browder, I'm Kai Cummings. Jenna, the Bucks played KU this weekend. How'd that turn out?
They did. Well, it was certainly an exciting game. Here we have Ralphie's parents. It was Parents' Weekend, and they are certainly fired up to watch the Bucks take on number 17th ranked Kansas. Here we have the Bucks 1st and 10 at KU's 12-yard line. Here's the new starting quarterback, Tyler Hansen, as he drops back, and he finds Ryer Gear for a 12-yard Bucks touchdown. Eric Goodman's point after puts the Bucks up 17-3 with 8 minutes left in the quarter. Here's Hansen again. Out of gun formation this time, he steps back, and he's waiting, and he finally decides to take it for himself for a 10-yard gain and a Bucks first down. Then we have Reesing. He steps back, and he finds none other than Jaleel Brown for Colorado for a 24-yard interception, bringing it all the way back to the Jayhawks' 1-yard line. And it is certainly a good game for those parents, as Hansen rumbles into the end zone, putting the Bucks up 24-3 with 2:24 left in the half.
A late second quarter touchdown and a quick halftime speech by Coach Mangino turns the Jayhawks around as Reesing hooks up with Desmond Bisco for a nice 26-yard gain and a Kansas first down. Trailing 27-10 midway through the third quarter, Kansas's 235-pound freshman Tobin Opurum pounds the ball through Colorado's line, and now the Jayhawks only down 27-17. That rock jock Jayhawk magic must be working again as Reesing connects with the senior running back Jake Sharp as he tiptoes down the sideline, eventually being brought down by Ray Polk right there. Later in the drive, Reesing is going to show a little difference here right here. Here's a little play-action pass, faking it to his man Jake Sharp, and finally airing it out to none other than Desmond Bisco, and Kansas can finally do some celebrating, stealing the lead back from the Bucks, making it 30-27. Now, we know Tyler Hansen can run, but you can't forget about the extremely speedy Stewart, as he earns this 13-yard touchdown, putting the Bucks back on top 34-30 with 8:36 left in the game. Reesing now throws up his final prayer, and it's knocked down by Colorado's tough secondary. Coach Mangino finds out the hard way that you can't take down Ralphie or his Bucks on Parent Weekend as CU upsets number 17 ranked Kansas 34-30. Some game time stats here. You can see how Tyler Hansen did. 14 for 24. He had 175 yards on the day, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks. That's not looking too pretty.
No, but you can't forget about Rodney Stewart for CU. He had 108 net yards, and he is one of the fastest players on the team. He's really impressive.
Indeed he is. Let's take a look at some Big 12 football action after this nice we're going to actually go to post-game right now. Let's see what Coach Hawkins has to say after the game about his Buffs.
Buying some time on a few plays. Unfortunately, we couldn't catch a ball for him. You know, the comparison is obviously the fact that he can run. I think Tyler has a very good arm and, ability to buy time with his legs.
They had scored. I mean, we had a big lead and we gave it up, so it was frustrating. And we needed to do something. And I looked around and told people someone's got to make a play. And so me and Speedy, we did some stuff, and it was a great team effort. O-line played great. Receivers made plays. I mean, everyone made plays on that drive, and so it was a huge drive. So.
Talking specifically about the 3rd and 15.
All right, well, we're going to have some Big 12 football action as Texas takes on Oklahoma. And Jenna, do you think Colt McCoy thought he was going to take that hit today?
I'm not sure, but that is definitely going to hurt in the morning.
Absolutely. Justin Tucker back to punt, and he sends a booming 45-yard punt. This is going to be dribbled down to around the 18-yard line. Dominic Franks picks it up and then drops it. Malcolm Williams recovers it and runs in for what seems to be a Longhorns touchdown, but this one's going to be brought back to the 18-yard line. Colt McCoy finds Marquise Goodwin, and he says, "Get off me," as he walks into the end zone, putting the Longhorns up 13-6. Now, freshman Landry Jones connects with Ryan Broyles, and he will run it 30 yards to the house. But Texas hangs on to win this one 16-13.
And moving right into the Texas Tech and Nebraska highlights, here we have Coming up right here, we have Zach Lee, who tries to hook up with Niles Paul, but he fumbles it, and it's recovered by Howard, who runs this one 82 yards down the field for a touchdown, giving them a 13-0 lead. Now Lee back to pass again, connecting with Chris Brooks right here, and he's pushed out of bounds, as you can see coming up right here. He's pushed out of bounds, ouch, setting up this 21-yard field goal by Alex Henry. Tech up 21-3, freshman Cody Green now in for Lee, drops back to pass and hits Cooper for 13-yard touchdown. There we go. And here we have Tech with the ball. Quarterback Stephen Sheffield finds Baron Batch wide open in the flat, and he gallops in for another Texas Tech touchdown. And Falco Mitchum finds the final nails the final nail in the coffin as he intercepts the freshman's last throw of the game. Texas Tech outlasts Nebraska as they march to victory 31-10.
After the upset win over then number 17 Kansas, the CU football team lost one of its star players on Thursday. Tailback Darryl Scott underwent arthroscopic knee surgery, sidelining him for up to 3 weeks. According to Coach Dan Hawkins, the doctors are just going to clean some stuff up, but they're not taking anything out. Scott originally injured the knee during the Toledo game earlier in the season. Scott has been mostly a factor in the kick return game for the Buffs, averaging 27 yards per return, which ranks him second in the Big 12.
The University of Colorado volleyball team fell short to Texas A&M last Saturday, but the Buffs went into College Station to face off against the number 22 Aggies and lost in 4 sets. Rosie Steinhaus led the Buffs with 13 kills and recorded her second double-double of the season with 10 digs. Kara Schroeder and Becca Fogel each recorded 10 kills in the effort. Katie Avagno had a team best of 13 digs. On the bright side, this is the first match that the Buffs took a set from a ranked opponent. Volleyball saw another tough loss on Wednesday against Kansas State. The Wildcats took the match in 4 close sets, leaving the Buffs 1-9 in the Big 12 Conference. Head coach Liz Kritza said, quote, "The match was a tough one for us, not only because of the disappointing loss, but because we were very inconsistent and felt like there were moments of high level and also moments where we were playing below our level." Leading the team with 15 kills and 7 blocks was Rosie Steinhaus. Teammate Becca Fogel also had her 5th double-double of the year, and with 14 kills and 13 digs. Next up, the Buffs head to Austin on Saturday to face the Texas Longhorns.
Coming up after the break, we have the 2 Davids on the double team set, breaking down football's first Big 12 win. And we'll take a look at an unconventional fundraiser for a charity.
That's right, coming up after the break.
This is a family that was almost fed by neighbors who almost volunteered to help them out. Almost volunteered. When it comes to giving, almost doesn't count.
How you doing? I just want regular, no sugar today.
You got it.
Thanks. Hello.
Hi.
Did you eat that whole thing today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing?
She's getting big, huh?
Good. Yeah, she is big. Great haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks cute. Come on, let's go. Nice to see you. Thanks a lot.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
Well, now we're going to take it to the 2 Davids on the double team set.
That's right, take it away, guys.
Hi, and welcome to Double Team. I'm David Starster alongside David LaRose. We're talking a little CU football with you guys, and we actually have some good stuff to talk about this week. CU, of course, knocking off Kansas this past Saturday, putting them at 2-4 overall, but more importantly, Dave, 1-1 in Big 12 play. We're right in the thick of things.
Right, this weekend's matchup with Kansas State could put us right in the lead in the Big 12 North, and who would have thought of that in the way that we started the season?
Pretty crazy to think that we still got a shot at not only going to a bowl, but winning going to the conference championship even. Of course, the big news with the win is that Tyler Hansen had the big game, and everybody was chanting his name after the game and everything. He was the big hero, making plays with his feet and with his arm. What did you like about how he played? Right,
Tyler Hansen adds a different dimension than Cody does. He keeps plays alive. The receivers are going to have to adapt to it a little bit, find open areas. But I was very impressed with his knowledge of the offense. He checked down properly. He read the defense. He just did a pretty nice job overall.
What I liked about how he played, and it was talked a lot about in the post-game press conferences, that he was keeping plays alive with his feet, not so he could run the ball, but so he could throw the ball to some guys open downfield. And I know you talked about, the receivers kind of got to get used to that, but I kind of liked how he would keep the play alive and then actually throw the ball instead of tucking it down and running.
Right, the receivers, like you said and like I said, they're going to have to adapt. They're going to have to be a little bit more in shape and not be able to quit on a play right when Cody gets sacked or whatever. Tyler Hansen's going to definitely be able to keep that play alive.
The other thing on offense that was a big plus, of course, was the play of Ronnie Stewart. He had his third 100-yard rushing game of the season. He's just getting better with every week going on. We all know about Speedy Stewart. We all know that he's got moves and he can go from 1 to 60 real quick, but I was impressed with the strength he showed, especially that last touchdown run. He was dragging some guys into the end zone.
Right, he's definitely a stocky little dude who can lay the boom on people. He on his touchdown run, you see him like hide behind people, and all of a sudden he bursts through and runs over some people and drags some people in the end zone.
Definitely. Of course, next week we got Kansas State coming in here, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. On the defensive side of the football, they played good for the first half, and then things kind of got out of hand there in the second half, but especially with the secondary, Jaleel Brown had the big pick. They looked great against a tough passing offense in Kansas.
Right, in the first half, they shut them down. They kept them to a respectable 3 points against a very potent offense. In the second half, people were getting worried in the stands that they're coming back, and they led a bunch of scoring drives, but they clamped down when they needed to.
Definitely. Of course, next week, like I said, we're going to Kansas State. It's going to be a road game.
Right.
They're actually on top of the division right now, the Big 12 North at 2-1. The thing with them is they're a real Jekyll and Hyde kind of team. You never know which Kansas State team is going to show up from week to week. They followed up a 40-point loss with a 40-point win. What do you think this team brings to the table? What challenges they present to CU?
Well, their running game is pretty strong. They have two pretty nice running backs that play pretty well. But also what I'm looking for is how Colorado shows up. They're a very Jekyll and Hyde team too. Kansas State, we're not looking at how they show up, but how we show up as well. And that will kind of tell how the game goes.
Definitely. You looking at any X factors, any keys to the game that might turn the tide either way? Because like we said, if Colorado shows up and Kansas State doesn't, or vice versa, it could be a blowout or it could be a real close game.
Right. Hopefully that CU can stay in its element like they did this past week against Kansas, run the ball, their strong suit, run the clock down, run the ball, run it down their throat.
I think it might come down to which team actually controls that time of possession. Like you said, both teams really rely on the running game to get their offense going either way. Both have a big 1-2 punch at tailback, so that'll be interesting to see for sure. And then, of course, the other big news this week was Darryl Scott undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery. You think that's going to affect the Buffs at all? Right.
On Thursday, he did undergo arthroscopic surgery. Coach Hawkins said that it wasn't very serious. He said he's up to 3 weeks out probably. His main factor is probably just the kick return game, so I don't think he'll be that much of a factor.
Be interesting to see how the game plays out. Big game in the Big 12 Conference. Like I said, Colorado and Kansas State fighting and jockeying for position in the Big 12 North. That's it for Double Team this week. I'm David Starcer alongside David LaRose, and we'll send it back to the desk.
Dodgeball may not be the most traditional way to fundraise, but for the Save Your Balls Dodgeball Tournament, nothing else could be more appropriate. Colleges Against Cancer and the American Cancer Society are hosting the tournament to raise money and awareness for prostate and testicular cancer. The tournament is November 14th from 1 to 5 p.m., and groups of 8 to 12 will battle it out, and it costs $15, which includes food, a t-shirt, and at least 2 games of dodgeball. All money raised goes to the American Cancer Society. If you'd like to sign up, send an email to curlay@gmail.com and get ready to dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. To a CU fan, nothing is more exciting than watching Ralphie race down the field. Which brings us to this week's trivia question. When did the Ralphie tradition start? Don't think too hard. We'll be back with the answer shortly.
Women's tennis rolled the dice at regionals this last weekend in Las Vegas, but senior Melissa Esposito had no luck after winning 4 matches in a row. She then got beat by the individual and double seeds top. The tournament was not a complete flop, though. Senior Monica Malewski moved into the top 10 in career singles. Victory at CU was her 4th round win. The team missed out on nationals this fall, but they'll be back at it in January.
After CU dominated the football field against Kansas, Karen McConey hit the UMC to find out reactions from some CU students.
CU students are thrilled after watching the Buffs' second win at home against Kansas last Saturday. But I wanted to test fans' actual knowledge of the game. Who really knows what they're talking about? Who scored the winning touchdown at last Saturday's game?
Us.
Gosh, it was wide receiver. No, Rodney Stewart.
How many touchdowns did Tyler Hansen score?
Did you get one in there?
Yep.
4, 3. So he rushed one and passed. Oh, okay, so that's 2.
What do you think of Tyler Hansen?
I think he is a better quarterback than Coach's son, by far.
I feel more confident in his playing because he's able to be mobile in the pocket, and that's something that Hawkins really didn't do that well. And I don't know, he's a little taller, he's just a little more athletic.
I heard that he totally kicked butt at the football game on Saturday. How did you celebrate after the game?
Well, it was family weekend, so my uncle was in town. So my roommates and I had a DJ.
I went to a party on the hill, and it was awesome because everyone was actually happy for once that we won, and it was a good time. And, of course, rushed the field.
Looks like the victory is putting Buck fans all over campus in a great mood. Let's hope for another win when football plays Kansas State this Saturday. I'm Karen Bocconi for CU Sportsman.
Karen, after this, we'll take you inside the basketball media days to hear how the teams think the upcoming seasons will go.
And you know Jenny Behringer as the Olympic athlete, but what else do you know about her? Coming up after the break.
A mi Juan le cuesta mucho hacer la tarea. ¿Cómo puedo ayudar? By coming here, you're already helping. Teachers have a lot to learn from parents.
Dice que ya con venir aquí estás ayudando, que los maestros tienen mucho que aprender de ti.
By the way, he's been a little mischievous lately.
Dice que me porto requete bien.
Juan.
Hables inglés o no, debes participar en la educación de tu hijo. Aprende cómo llamando.
Only you
can prevent forest fire. And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Rocky says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Both the men and women's cross-country teams made some noise after a pair of strong performances this last week. The women's team jumped 16 spots following an incredible performance against the number 11 ranked Florida State and number 4 Oregon. The men remained high atop the poll as well, ranking 4th in the nation respectively, picking up 1 first vote. Next up for the Buffs, the 2009 Big 12 cross-country championship in Columbia, Missouri. The women's race is set for 9 a.m. with the men following at 10.
Running the risk of a broken like a record. Whoa, sorry about that one. Jenny Behringer was named the Big 12 Runner of the Week for the 2nd time this month. But who is the superstar really? News Team's Kathleen Majeski takes us into the shoes of this not-so-common CU senior.
They've run in the Olympic Games. They've crossed 4 NCAA championship races first. They've pounded thousands and thousands of miles of pavement. And Jenny Behringer, along with her shoes, have no intentions of slowing down. Jenny did have to walk in the shoes of an underdog before she could strut like a champion. The transition from average to outstanding is one she'll cherish forever.
I won the steeplechase national championship my freshman year. And going and being this complete underdog, I wasn't even highlighted as a potential contender. And winning that and really just the shock from a lot of people, that's probably one of my greatest memories in college.
Under 10 minutes.
These days, Jenny is almost always the heavy favorite. Her pictures adorn the walls of CU and are a small testament to the large impact she has made on the Buff Nation. Jenny competes at the highest level, a feat that she explains is a result of her insatiable desire to push the limit.
I think as the level of competition has, as I've gotten to the top of the NCAA and then to the top of the world, I never have settled and said, okay, this is it, I've arrived. I always feel like there's another level to go to.
Jenny has undoubtedly asserted herself in a highly competitive world. She is a 5-time All-American, and as a 21-year-old, she set the American record in the steeplechase. After completing her junior year of college, Jenny represented the U.S. at the 2008 Olympic Games. With all of these accomplishments, Behringer sees a new challenge on the horizon, competing on a global level without a college team to come home to.
Taking on the world more on my own is going to be the next thing and the next level and the next challenge.
Though the end of her college career is looming, Jenny's shoes are far from crossing their final finish line. Kathleen Majeski, News Team Boulder.
The quarterback position is certainly the most glamorous on the football field, and Tyler Hansen's first start of the year was hot topic all week. Hansen played well enough to help the Buffs take down number 17 Kansas and earn Athlete of the Week honors.
We had to score. Someone had to make a play. I was telling the offense, someone's got to step up right now. Their offense was hot at the moment, so we had to kind of have a long drive and keep their offense off the field. Definitely, it adds a little more to our offense. People got to prepare for it now and know I can do it. Maybe they put a linebacker spy on me or something like that. This week is a must-win. It's a playoff game pretty much. Big 12 North is right now. It's crazy. It's up for grabs. We're 2-4. Our overall record's not good, but our Big 12 North record right now is good. It's right there. So it's a must-win. Kansas State is right there. They're playing good right now, so it's going to be a big game. I'm Tyler Hansen, it's CU Sports Mag, and I'm the Athlete of the Week.
Maturity was a word that was thrown around a lot at the men's basketball media day. Even though the team was picked to finish last in the Big 12, the team remains positive that they are on the right track. Coach Bizdelic and several players talked about the upcoming season.
As we approach this year, I feel like we're poking our head up above the horizon a little bit, out of this deep hole that we had dug ourselves into. And I think we're going to be deeper, we're going to be stronger, we're going to be more mature, we're going to be a better basketball team.
We have a tough non-conference schedule, and then we head to Maui for the Maui Invitational. And growing up, I watched that on TV like every Thanksgiving, and look forward to playing in that. Someday that was my goal, and now that's been realized. So it'll be a lot of fun to go out to Hawaii and play in the tournament, and hopefully we do well and move on to the Big 12 season, and continue to play well.
You can't substitute experience for anything, and we learned a lot from those losses, and we're more mature, and I think we know how to win now.
I'm looking forward to having a good, solid team. I think that this year we have the most potential we've had since we've been here, to be really honest. And I think that the sky's the limit for us. I think if we play hard, and we'll be able to compete with anybody.
Now on the women's side, the Buffs will also be looking to make the postseason after finishing 11-18 last winter. The women had their media day on the same day as the men. Let's see what Coach McConnell Miller had to say about the rest of the Buffs.
I can't tell you how many games we're going to win. I can't tell you where we're going to finish in the conference. I can't tell you all that. I can tell you, sitting here today, there is a great feeling and a great sense that the preparation was there. The talent level has improved, the athleticism has improved, the size, and of course the depth. The depth is the biggest key, gives us some versatility on the offensive end. If you want to play Kelly Jo Mullaney, you're looking at a better shooter. If you want to play Chucky Jeffrey, you're looking at somebody that is going to give us a higher possession game. She's going to play better defense. She's probably going to push the ball a little bit more. If you're playing with Alyssa Fresley, you're looking at a slasher. I mean, we've got so many different looks. I think we're going to be difficult to guard, more difficult to guard.
I think we're going to be playing a lot different than we have in the past. We have a much more guard-oriented team, and I'm really excited about that, and I know we can, I don't think you necessarily need to have a ton of size in the Big 12. I think, it just depends on the type of team and how well we fit together, and I'm just excited about running teams and, good guard play. I'm really excited about this year.
I think about that every time basketball season comes up, that we go into the NCAA tournament, and I really want to do this we should do this for our seniors, Bianca and Courtney. I feel like everybody has the attitude that since we work so hard in the preseason or in the summer, we should be able to have a great season and not win just 11 games or less.
When we come back, we think the weather is supposed to be nice this weekend, But it is Boulder, so Luke will give us an official look at what to expect.
And you've probably been racking your brain trying to figure out that trivia question, but the wait will soon be over.
Can you pass the salt, Dad?
Salt is to pepper as gregarious is to...
Oh, no, not more SAT questions.
In ancient Rome, salt was a form of currency. True or false?
False.
True.
Son, can you locate sodium?
Or chloride?
There are tons of ways to help with your kids' learning. Find the really good ones on connectforkids.org.
You have 3.5 grams of salt and a 5-gram slug. What's the rate of shrivel?
In America, you are not required to offer food to the hungry or shelter to the homeless. There is no ordinance forcing you to visit the lonely. In fact, nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to provide anything for anybody. Thank you for all you've given. Imagine what more could do.
Coming off a rare bye week, soccer prepares for the last leg of the regular season. This team will be touring the state of Texas this weekend for a pair of key matchups. Beginning on Friday, the team heads to College Station to take on number 16 ranked Texas A&M, followed up by a match on Saturday with Texas. Having stumbled on their last road trip, losing to Baylor and Missouri, before finishing up beating Kansas, the Buffs will look to get back on track and continue dominance in conference play. Colorado has a chance to claim their second ever regular season title and 8th straight appearance in the conference tournament.
All right, it's time to answer that trivia question. Do you think you have figured it out? To refresh your memory, the question was, when did the Ralphie tradition start? And the answer? The Ralphie tradition first started when he ran down the field on October 1st, 1966. This October marked the tradition's 43rd anniversary.
Well, that's most of our show, but we got a little bit left. Luke Rosenmeyer is in the studio to give us a look at this weekend's weather.
That's right, and we'll go to commercial right now.
Edition of Sports Mag Weather. We're going to jump right in and look at the national temperature map. As you can see, Colorado's starting to look pretty cold. We're getting into those blues and purples. That means at night it's going to be real chilly. You better throw your winter jacket on. It's going to be in the 30s and 40s. You're not looking to see too much warmth. Even in the Midwest, it's starting to look blue. However, if you want some warmth, you're going to have to head all the way down to the southeast. Georgia, Florida, Alabama is really the only place you're looking to find some heat this week. Looking at Boulder weather specifically, we're looking to have a very sunny weekend. As you can see, mostly sunny all weekend. Highs in the 50s and high 40s. Lows not really dropping down below 30. That's pretty much going to be at night. So this would be a great weekend to do some of those final outdoor activities before we hit November and it starts to snow all the time. Everybody's wondering how the football team is doing lately, having beaten number 17th ranked Kansas last weekend. They're heading to take on the Wildcats of Kansas State in Manhattan, Kansas this weekend. It's going to be a 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time kickoff, high of 63, low of 45, mostly sunny, perfect football weather. Hopefully the Buffs will be able to pull out another one. As I mentioned before, it's starting to get into the colder time of the year, so you're looking to hit the slopes soon, I'm sure. Your options so far are pretty limited. You've got Arapahoe Basin and Loveland. Arapahoe Basin specifically, they've got 2 inches of snowfall in the last 24 hours and an 18-inch base. Unfortunately, that's mostly man-made, so you're not looking at real great skiing. They've only got 1 of 7 lifts open and 20 of 900 acres. However, as I mentioned before, it's going to be a great weekend weather-wise in Boulder, so it would be a great time to go outside, maybe get some hiking done in Chautauqua or the Flatirons. That's it.
Well, Luke, it looks like it's going to be a great weekend for weather.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to head up to Arapahoe Basin for sure this weekend.
Definitely.
Yeah, and that Kansas State game should be a pretty good one against our Buffs. Yeah. That's it for this week's show. See you, Sports Mag. Jenna Browder, Luke Rosenmeyer. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week.